Have you ever been judged before someone even knew your story? Before we begin, make sure to hit that subscribe button because today's story will remind you that you never know who you're really talking to. It was a chilly morning in downtown Chicago, the kind where everyone rushed past with their coffees and cold breaths clouding the air. Inside the grand glass doors of Bridgeview National Bank, 22-year-old Aaliyah James nervously clutched a folded piece of paper, a check her mother had given her to start her own business. She wore a simple hoodie and jeans, her curls tucked under a beanie. She didn't look like someone walking in to deposit $10,000. Next, snapped a voice from behind the counter. The bank manager, Mr. Reynolds, was a tall, middle-aged man with a sharp suit and an even sharper attitude. His eyes flicked over Aaliyah with a mixture of impatience and judgment. Aaliyah stepped forward and offered a shy smile. "Hi, I'd like to deposit this check, please." Reynolds barely glanced up. "Savings or checking?" "Checking, please. It's my startup fund. I'm opening a small design studio." He took the check from her and immediately frowned. "This looks suspicious." Aaliyah blinked. "Excuse me." "This check," he said, holding it up. $10,000? From a Celeste Holdings Incorporated? Do you even have an account here?" "Yes, sir. I opened one last month." He smirked. "Right. And you expect me to believe a student like you just happens to get a check from a corporate account?" "I'm not a student anymore," Aaliyah said, voice trembling. "I graduated. My mom." "Save the story," he cut in coldly. "We've had plenty of people try to pull stunts like this. Fake checks. Scams. You people need to learn." Aaliyah froze. "You people," she whispered. The lobby went silent. A few customers turned to look. Reynolds straightened, clearly realizing he'd said too much but too proud to back down. "I'm saying this check isn't legitimate. I can see the signs. The signature's smudged, the ink looks off. We don't cash these kinds of things for beginners." Aaliyah's hands clenched. "Sir, that's my mother's company. She owns." "I'm not going to repeat myself." And before she could say another word, Reynolds ripped the check in half. The tearing sound echoed like thunder in her ears. Aaliyah gasped, tears filling her eyes. You can't do that." Reynolds folded his arms. "I just did. Maybe next time. Don't waste our time with forged papers." Aaliyah turned and ran out, heart pounding, humiliation burning through her chest. Outside, she pulled out her phone with shaking fingers and called her mother. "Mom," she choked out. "He tore it." "The manager," he said the check was fake. On the other end, Celeste James, CEO of Celeste Holdings Incorporated, a multi-million-dollar investment firm, went silent for a full 3 seconds. Then, in her smooth but dangerous tone, she said, "Stay right there." 20 minutes later, a black Tesla glided to a stop in front of the bank. The glass doors opened, and everyone turned. Celeste stepped in like a storm in heels, impeccably dressed, calm, but with eyes that burned with quiet fury. Aaliyah stood up from the waiting area, tear-streaked. "Which one?" Celeste asked softly. Aaliyah pointed toward Reynolds, who was now pretending to look busy. Celeste walked right up to the counter. "Good afternoon. I'm looking for a Mr. Reynolds." Reynolds smiled stiffly. "That's me. How can I?" "You tore my daughter's check in half," she interrupted. "A check issued by my company." The color drained from his face. "Ma'am, there must be a misunderstanding. We have to verify certain documents." Celeste placed a business card on the counter. "Celeste James. So, we own the building your bank rents this branch from." Reynolds blinked rapidly, the runes spinning. Ms. James, She leaned closer. "You looked at my daughter and saw what? A scammer? Someone beneath your time? You didn't even verify the check before you destroyed it. Tell me, Mr. Reynolds, how many other people have you treated this way today?" The bank fell silent again. Reynolds stuttered. I didn't mean." Celeste's tone sharpened. "You did. You meant every word. You saw her skin, her clothes, and you made your decision." She turned to Aaliyah, placed an arm around her shoulders, and said loud enough for everyone to hear, "This young woman is smarter and stronger than most people in this room. She's building a business, not begging for validation. And this," she glanced at the shredded check, "won't stop her." A man from the back office rushed out, the regional director. "Ms. James." My apologies if I'd known. Celeste turned her gaze on him. You should never need to know who someone is to treat them with respect. By the time she and Aaliyah left, Reynolds had been escorted out of the branch, suspended pending investigation. Outside, as they sat in the Tesla, Aaliyah wiped her tears. Mom, you didn't have to do all that. Celeste smiled gently. Yes, I did. Because next time, it won't just be you. It'll be another young woman walking in there, trying to build her dream. Aaliyah nodded, the weight of the moment sinking in. Then maybe, she said quietly, I'll build a bank where everyone is treated equally. Celeste smiled. That's my girl. The Tesla pulled away as the camera faded out on the glittering skyline. If you thought the story ended when Aaliyah's millionaire mother walked into that bank, think again. What came next proved that karma isn't always cruel. Sometimes it's poetic. If you're new here, hit subscribe because this next chapter will make you believe in justice, redemption, and the power of grace. 6 months later, the once humiliated young woman stood in front of a sleek new office in downtown Chicago. The sign above the door gleamed. Aurora Designs founder, Aaliyah James. Inside, sunlight poured over bright sketches, color palettes, and walls filled with inspiration quotes. Aaliyah's small team of 4 creatives were hard at work, designing websites and logos for small, minority-owned businesses, people who had been told no one too many times. Business was booming. Her story, the bank incident, had gone viral after a customer recorded the confrontation. Millions online had praised her composure and her mother's powerful response. But despite her success, Aaliyah never bragged. She just worked harder. One afternoon, while Aaliyah was reviewing invoices, her assistant, Liam, knocked. There's a man here asking for you. Says his name's Mr. Reynolds. Aaliyah froze. Reynolds? Liam nodded cautiously. The same guy. The one from the bank. Her heart thudded. What could he possibly want now? Send him in, she said after a moment. The door opened slowly, and there he was, the former bank manager, looking nothing like the smug man she remembered. His once perfect suit was worn, his eyes tired. He held his hat in his hands like a man who'd lost everything. Aaliyah, he began softly. Thank you for seeing me. Aaliyah leaned back in her chair. You have 2 minutes. He swallowed hard. I deserve that. I came to apologize. What I did to you was inexcusable. I was arrogant. I lost my job after that day. And, honestly, I lost a lot more than that. Aaliyah studied him silently. Why now? Because, he said, his voice cracking, I finally understood what it feels like to be judged. He sighed. After the video went viral, nobody wanted to hire me. My reputation was ruined. My wife left. My son stopped talking to me. He said I made him ashamed to share my name. Aaliyah's jaw tightened. She didn't know whether to feel pity or anger. I know saying sorry won't fix what I did, he continued, but I wanted you to hear it from me. I was wrong. For a long moment, Aaliyah said nothing. The only sound was the quiet hum of the office. Finally, she said, Do you know what hurt the most, Mr. Reynolds? He looked up, eyes wet. It wasn't the check, she said. It was the way you looked at me. Like I didn't belong. Like my dreams didn't matter. He nodded slowly, shame in every line of his face. I can't change the past, he whispered, but I've been trying to make amends. I volunteer now, help small business owners with financial literacy. Most of them are young women. Women who remind me of you. Something in Aaliyah's chest softened, though she fought to keep her voice steady. That's good. I'm glad you're doing something with it. He hesitated. Actually, that's partly why I came. There's a young girl in my neighborhood. She's brilliant, wants to start a design business, but can't afford startup help. I was hoping maybe you'd consider mentoring her. Aaliyah blinked in surprise. She hadn't expected that. Her name's Maya, he added quietly. She's 15. Remind me a lot of you. Same fire, same ideas. Aaliyah leaned forward, thinking, You really believe in her? He nodded. More than I ever believed in myself. She exhaled slowly, then smiled. Not with sarcasm this time, but sincerity. Then tell Maya she's welcome here. I'll help her build something real. Reynolds' lips parted, his eyes glistening. Thank you, Aaliyah. You didn't have to. I know, she interrupted gently. But that's the point, isn't it? Grace is given, not earned. Later that night, Aaliyah sat in her mother's penthouse, telling Celeste what had happened. Celeste listened, swirling her tea with quiet pride. "So you helped him?" Aaliyah nodded. "I didn't want to, but it felt right. Maybe the lesson wasn't just for him." Celeste smiled knowingly. "That's how real success works, sweetheart. It's not about revenge, it's about growth." Aaliyah gazed out the window at the city lights below. "You think people can really change?" Her mother chuckled softly. "People can surprise you. Sometimes, the same ones who break you end up being part of your healing." A month later, Aurora Designs partnered with a youth program, teaching underprivileged teens entrepreneurship and creative design. And the first mentor Aaliyah hired? Mr. Reynolds. He worked quietly, respectfully, teaching kids how to read bank statements, manage budgets, and believe in their ideas. During one session, Maya, the girl he'd spoken about, showed Aaliyah her first project, a logo for a nonprofit that helped women get small loans. "It's called Open Door," Maya explained proudly, "because everyone deserves a chance to walk through one." Aaliyah smiled warmly. "That's beautiful, Maya. Really beautiful." Behind them, Reynolds wiped a tear from his eye. As months passed, Aurora Designs grew into one of Chicago's top firms. But Aaliyah didn't measure success in profits. She measured it in lives changed. One evening, she stood on stage at a business awards event, accepting recognition for Young Entrepreneur of the Year. Cameras flashed. "This award," she began, "isn't about money or fame. It's about what happens when someone believes in you. So if you're out there being told you don't belong, remember this. Your worth isn't determined by someone else's bias. It's built by your persistence." She paused, smiling toward the crowd, where Celeste sat proudly beside Mr. Reynolds and Maya. "And if you ever get the chance," Aaliyah said, voice soft but powerful, "choose grace. Because sometimes the most powerful revenge is forgiveness." The audience rose in applause, the camera panning across tearful faces. Claquete e outro. Because at the end of the day, life has a way of bringing things full circle. What you give, whether hate or kindness, always comes back to you. Speech balloon reflection question. Would you have forgiven Mr. Reynolds? Or walked away? Let me know in the comments. Your answer might just inspire someone else. Loudspeaker, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more emotional true stories that prove kindness is never weakness.